Welcome to the Kee To Growth Podcast, Home Services Marketing Unlocked, with me, your host, Jen McKee. Every week, I sit down with top marketers in the trades, from the brains behind $100 million companies to those scaling from 1 to 3, even to 10 million, breaking down exactly how they got where they are and uncover the secret to their success. If you're ready to grow your business and get real, actionable insights, you're in the right place. Let's unlock the key to your marketing success, starting now.
Key Marketing specializes in Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube to build your brand awareness or drive leads using social media ads. If you're ready to elevate your social media, go to keyheartmarketing.com or follow us on social media. All right, welcome back everyone to another episode of the Kee To Growth Podcast. I am your host, Jen McKee, and today I am super excited to have someone that I met this past year at a Service World Expo, because he also happens to be a Service Nation coach along with a sales expert at his legacy company at this point. Today I have Andy Hobaica. Andy, if people are not familiar with you, let them know who you are.
I appreciate it, Jen, and I'm excited to be on the podcast too. Anytime I can jump on a podcast or a talk or, a group setting to where I can help out a bunch of people and get the word out of helping people more, then I'm always about it. So I appreciate the, I'm honored to be on the podcast.
Love it.
I found out about Jen actually a year ago because she had one of my best friends on the podcast, on the live podcast, is Michael Vanitas. So I've known Mike for about 3 years, and in a 3-year time frame, I've grown closer to Mike than some of my family members. So like me and Mike are very tight. We talk a lot. And then obviously on the podcast, he's the one who released that he was getting out of the marketing space and starting up the Good Golly Garage Doors in Phoenix. And Mike is killing it. I don't know if you've talked to him, but he just third month in and he hit $100,000 in revenue.
Amazing. I love watching him. I'm just watching him on stories all the time.
We just had cigar night at my house, just finished the backyard, and was talking about it. I'm like, 3 months in, $100,000. I'm like, good for you, bro. So like him and Jack are killing it. The thing with Mike and Jack is like, they could pretty much run any kind of home service company, because people ask me like, Andy, you're in sales, that we need more sales. I'm like, yeah. So sales is very important, but sales is non-existent without the proper marketing.
Yeah.
So if you used to be in marketing and you're a genius at that, like Mike and Jack, they just keep feeding their freaking funnel because they know how to get the leads. So like, it's a game changer. And then, it's just good. If anyone's listening and actually interested, Mike actually does a little coaching on the side. He has a private business where you could actually have like a small family company. And instead of hiring a marketing agency, you just hire Mike and he gives you all the secrets on like a, 2-hour call.
I love that. I always am intrigued as a marketer by the marketing people that go into home service companies, but it is exactly what you said, because if you understand how to leverage marketing, you can, I don't want to say this, but like you could almost start any company. Like, yeah, there's like all of these other things that you need to know, but it is interesting how impactful marketing can be to any business, right? So I know we kind of talked about that a little bit, but before we like dive super in, just give a little bit more of your background. So you're in a third generation, or Hobaica Services is a third generation family owned company. So you've kind of like grown up in this industry.
Yeah. So a lot of people have heard the story 1,000 times. I'll rush through it. Right. So grandfather got out of the war, GI Bill, Phoenix College, got his electrical license and became a handyman, and then fell into refrigeration and started his refrigeration company 75 years ago, 1952, out of his garage in downtown Phoenix. So been around for 75 years. We're no longer owned by the family. We're actually a part of the, the Champions Group now, but still family run, still have all the values, still have the culture. And that's why we have long lasting employees. I have installers that have been working for us for 23 years, 24 years, technicians that have worked from a parts runner up to a service manager. Like we have that growth because we're really tight niche, and we meet like twice a month and like meet with every team. And like, it's just that family atmosphere, even though not all the family works here anymore. So I grew up in the business. So my dad bought it in the 80s and then worked like as a little kid up. And then again, I started at like 6-7 years old, literally in the shop, crawling through attics and replacing ductwork, insulation. I did all the nitty gritty, but my goal was at 7-8 years old, what do I want? Well, when I turned 16, I want one of these cool cars that I see in all the movies. So my motivation was to save up, and I worked for him every summer. And then I also did some in and out jobs around the neighborhood. But when I turned 16, I had like 18 grand cash saved up.
Nice. That's awesome.
I bought a Mustang and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And to be honest, when you buy it yourself, man, I'd park that thing like in the back of the parking lot so I get door dinged.
Right.
If I put a fingerprint on it, I just had to wash it or like I had to get pissed off. Like, talk about something that you appreciate when buying it yourself. Definitely going to pass that down to my kids. So that's why I worked for them. But I was a install helper / installer / technician helper for all this time. Turned 18, graduated high school. I went to RSI at nighttime while playing sports recreational. So I learned that, had worked in the field all that time. And then when I turned 19, 20, I became a service tech. I was a full-time service tech for about 11 years, then on to a selling tech, then on to a comfort advisor, did commercial, residential, and now I pretty much, sales leader at Hobaica. I also do sales on a daily basis. And then we do a lot of role play and motivation and stuff with the team as well.
Okay. How did you get involved with Service Nation and like in coaching?
So my dad is one of the 5 founding members of Service Nation.
That's awesome. So you were just born into that too.
I remember when I was like 17, 18, people are like, what are you doing this weekend? I'm like, oh, I'm going to an expo with my dad in Vegas. They're like, what the hell's an expo? And I'm like,
yeah,
oh, it's a bunch of air conditioning things and you get all these freebies and toys and then they buy you dinner a couple of times. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no kidding. But so what I'm really interested in is like, you guys have been around for a long time. And was it the idea of like selling and sales always a part of your culture? Or was that something that was kind of like evolved over time as you look to push revenue and growth?
It definitely evolved over time, right? I remember when I was a kid, everything was a repair. We did one replacement every other week. Like literally, you weren't replacing air conditioners, you were fixing everything. So then they also built stuff better back then, Jen. So like
I was going to say the product was better.
Also, they had R22 for like 40 years. So like there wasn't the refrigerants changing, got to upgrade your equipment. It was just like repair versus replace. $1,000 compressor, $6,000 system. What do you want to do? And they'd usually do the repair. It was actually funny. And to be honest, I don't even remember doing repair versus replace unless the customer brought up, hey, I want to upgrade this unit. And then I think where it started, Jen, was about maybe like 15 years ago when they came out 2-stage. So then it's like, or 20 years ago, whenever they came out with that, it was like the Lennox HS16, I think the first one. But basically when they came out with the unit that could turn on and go to half, it's like, oh my God, there's this new efficient, awesome thing, so much quieter. And then people started upgrading. And then just eight years ago, they came out with the inverter and then it just game over.
Yeah. Yeah. So what size businesses are you typically working with when you're coaching at Service Nation?
Oh, so mainly smaller companies, I would say under 10 million.
Okay. So do you find that some of them struggle with a like sales mindset, or do you find that they struggle more with marketing?
Most of them are lost when it comes to the marketing. And they're just taking bits from friends like, oh, you do a mailer, you do this, you do this. It's all trial and error. They just try things. And if they don't work, they give up on them. And then they'll stay stagnant. They're doing nothing. And it's like, okay, maybe that didn't work. Maybe try something else. And then a lot of them don't have a sales process, Jen. They're just going for the best. Like we'll go through a process like calling the customer ahead of time, meeting with them at the door, going to the thermostat, looking at the equipment. Like, you know how many companies, and I also do private coaching with my father for other companies, but I'm saying, you know how many companies have coached? Probably 100 in the last year and a half, where they'll just walk up to the door and say, hey, Jen, I'm here to fix your AC unit. Can you show me to the unit? I'm like, no, what are you doing? You need to spend 15 minutes getting to know that person, come inside, find some issues first. Like, what are we doing here? And it's like, it's so blinded to where they don't have a process. They're just like, well, here you go do your best. And then at the same time, the office is like, why don't we have any calls? It's like, well, have you even come up with a marketing budget? No, they're just shooting at the hips.
Let's start with sales and then we'll go into marketing. So I'm curious about how this sales process that you use, like how you developed it and what you started to see as you were developing it, as far as like now we're able to close XYZ more % of the time.
Yeah, it's the process would take 2 hours, right? But long story short, just all the leaders and mentors that I've had over the years, and I've literally taken a little bit from everyone and then also made it my own. But a guy that actually works for Champions Group now as a corporate trainer was actually one of my mentors growing up. His name's Hector Gonzalez. He has no social media, so he probably won't hear this unless I send it to him. But, he's cool. He's old school, and he's maybe 15, 20 years older than me, but he really knows the process and the old school way of creating that relationship. So many people just want to sell, and educate the crap out of the customer, but they miss the portion of becoming the customer's friend. And that's my key goal in the first hour, right? So he sold like that. And I watched him as a little kid, as a technician. He worked for my dad for 15 years and then moved on and then, worked for some different companies. And now he's a corporate sales trainer for Champions Group. And I follow a lot of his process. Another guy is Rod Hampton that works for my dad. I follow a lot of his. And then at the same time, shout out to my boy, Michael Goder. He has a company out in Cali, and he used to run a team called Sales Team 6. And I went to 3 of his trainings growing up, and man, talk about a machine. Just every single little process from, have you heard my famous call ahead before I go to the house?
No.
Something like that, up to the intro, up to getting to know the customer, coming in, creating that relationship. Just that first half an hour, I focus on helping the customer with something, 2 or 3 things. The reason I'm not even there.
Do a lot on the front end to gain their trust, basically. And, one thing I like to say, because I think that a lot of people struggle with the idea of well, I don't want to trick somebody into spending money, or I don't want to push somebody into doing something that they don't want to do, or just this idea of the word sales. And I'm sure that you encounter it all the time, because it happens in the entrepreneurial community. It happens, of course, with the people that we hire, struggle with it even more. And so I like to just reframe this, because these people are calling you because they have a problem. And so they're already saying I need a trusted advisor to tell me what to do. And so that's kind of what you're doing, right? It's you're building this trust from the beginning, so that there isn't this hesitation of well, I don't know, maybe I'll just ask somebody else, and then their problem isn't solved.
Exactly. And I'm also genuinely want to become the customer's friend, because the more people I know, the more people I get to meet, the more money I make, the more referrals I get to give, the more people I get to make happy, the more people I get to save from companies that might screw them over. So I have this big process in my head that if I don't convince Jen to trust me and become my friend, then I can't help out anybody. I've told stories on the pods before where I've had customers that just fell in love with me and my process in the family company, but she just couldn't afford us. She needed cheap. So I even referred some people to her that could probably get it a little bit cheaper because they're tiny companies. But at the same time, she fell in love with me so much. Over the next year, she referred me 10 times, and it was $500,000 in business. It just kept going and going and going. I'm like, wow. I'm like, this lady that started that didn't even buy anything from me.
Yeah, I love that. How do you help your team see that idea? Or, when you're training new people, and obviously you said a couple of times that you guys train all the time. How do you really start to shift your team's mindset?
Role play.
Just all the situations.
Everything. So we have a door in our training room on wheels, and we'll call up 2 technicians, 2 salespeople, 2 managers, knock, answer the door. You go through that whole process right in front of your whole team. You're gonna stutter, you're gonna mess up because your whole team's looking at you. But the best part is you get to pick who goes next.
Yeah, the role play is a big part. So what about, how is your team incentivized? Do you do percentage of sales, and they're making a ton of money at this point, which is of course giving them skin in the game?
Yeah, so we do hourly plus spiffs. So anything that they upgrade the customer to, or a better part, or something that's going to help the customer and then also will help them. We have a spiff program that way. We have a spiff program when they ask for a 5-star Google review. Basically, just having them create that relationship with the customer, because they know if the customer falls in love with them and loves everything about that, when they come at the end and they're like, hey, your ductwork's really dirty, here's a video, let me show you, I would recommend it to be cleaned. And then he gets $100 from that. But at the same time, did the customer need it? Yes. But should the employee also benefit? Yes, because he came out of his box, used the role play that we used, and was able to talk to the customer, because anyone can work on a system. Anybody. I'll get guys from other companies that are like, I quit here, I want a job here. I'm like, well, I don't like your attitude, so that's why you're not going to work here. I would much rather hire someone that's green, doesn't even know what a screwdriver is, but has a good attitude, is a good person I can trust, makes eye contact, and actually is a nice and good person, has good values. I'll teach them the technical side. That's easy. We have a fast track program with NTI, and we can get a technician, and we can have them fully trained in 2.5 to 3 months. And the benefit with Hobaica and Champions Group, we did it before that even, is we pay for the training. So like 18-year-old Jen just graduated from high school, doesn't know what to do, comes over. We pay you minimum wage to sit in class half, in the field half, and then graduate with a job debt-free.
That's awesome. Yeah. So nice. Such a great way to get recruiting. How do you guys recruit? Do you go to the schools? Do you use social media?
Yeah, we stopped all of it. We just have a hiring event every third Thursday of every month.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's awesome. Like at your place?
We have at our office. So if you're in Phoenix and you're hearing the podcast, you're like, oh, I want to change up my trades. Like the best age is like if you have a child between the ages of 18 and 25, because they're not making a ton of money yet to where like I'm making $100,000 a year. I can go to 15 and then take that, while I become a technician. It's like you need to get someone that's working, $20 an hour, $15 an hour. And at the end of the day, they want a game changer to set up a life for themselves. So anyone that in Phoenix has a child between the ages of 18 and 25 without a DUI, we're good to go.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I want to take a step back now to your office team, to your CSRs, and like what kind of how are you guys focused on them as a part of your sales and marketing process?
Yeah, so they actually meet daily, and they have like a 30 to 40-minute huddle every single day, and they listen to calls together. So
nice.
They'll listen to a call with Melissa, and Melissa will be all embarrassed, like, oh crap, I shouldn't have said that. Everyone will go around and say something that Melissa did well and something that Melissa can work on, and then they role play those ideas.
Okay, that's incredible. That's so easy, and you can literally do that at any level of business. And
we're also paying them for 45 minutes of this training when they're not answering phones and they get a break.
Yeah. Well, and I think that so often all of us are kind of conditioned to like guess on why things are the way that they are, or just come up with it ideas about things without actually listening to them. And when we take the time to listen to the calls, we can actually grab individual pieces that we can work on. And that's how you continue to get 1% better all the time.
Correct.
I think that's really great. Okay, so that leads us back into marketing. So you said that right before we got on this call, which I loved, is that you just had a call with some owners. You're working with the owners at Service Nation. Is that right? Or
owners,
just anybody?
Salespeople, technicians, pretty much anybody, yeah.
Okay. And so you were asking them what they need help with. And so many people right now are struggling with consistent leads. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, consistency. Like, oh, we did really good last week, but this week we can't find any new customers. And like, I can go a little bit more on that. You want to finish your question?
No, tell me more. Like, so what did you hear and what are you seeing?
Oh, we need new customers. We need this. I'm like, okay, what are you doing with your current customer base?
I love that.
What do you mean? You're not working your current base? Like, how many people that have used you in the last 6 months received a mailer, an email, a text message, or a call from you? And they all went silent. I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing here, people? So like when we get a little bit slower, we'll do an email, text, or mailer blast, or all three at once, and just hit that neighborhood really hard about, hey, we're doing a special on this, we're doing this, all this different stuff, to where we go pretty hard, Jen. Well, if Jen buys an air conditioner and we replace it, every single person 2 streets that way and 2 streets this way is going to get a mailer and say, we were recently in your neighborhood upgrading an HVAC system due to the age of the neighborhood. A lot of people are upgrading their systems. When's the last time you had your service? We'll do a complimentary inspection because your neighbor just had theirs replaced.
Mm-hmm.
And the chances of that person getting the mailer saw us on that street for 8 hours that day, then very, very important.
Yeah. So, okay. So you said your current customer base. So making sure, basically what I love is that we all get into these, sometimes get up against a wall, right? Of this idea of well, I've done everything. I don't know what else to do. And I just think that there's always someplace else to look. And so, like you said, look at your current customer base. And there's so many things you could do there. You could send them an offer. You could email them. You could text them. You could target them on Facebook. That's my favorite thing that I don't think anybody ever does or thinks about. But your customer list, you can literally take that exact list and put it into Facebook, and you can target all of these people with the same things that you're emailing them and texting them. And now they're seeing them on Facebook as well. But also, I mean, you kind of mentioned, like, you didn't say this explicitly, but like referrals, like, couldn't you ask these people to refer
We do.
you, especially like you're in the neighborhood? What do you guys do for referrals? Do you have a system set up or?
Yeah, we have a texting system, we have a QR system, we have like 3 different referrals set up programs. The texting one we just started was we texted out to our entire customer basis and also emailed the customer, so they got it hit twice in one day within like seconds, like
Yeah.
email, text by Hobaica, and it says we're having this new referral program. If you refer someone that uses us, we'll give you $100, and if they replace their air conditioning system, you're gonna get $500. So get up to $600. Click here, and they actually click on the link, and it allows them to enter their friend's information.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, I think some people's hesitation is like, "Oh, well, no one wants to do that." Okay, but someone will. Like, and
Oh, so
also
we did it, Jen, for the first time, I think, like, 6 months ago, and in
yeah,
the first 2 text messages that went out, so, like, a week apart, in that week, we gained, like, 120 new customers.
that's amazing. And you're also, again, that same mindset idea, like you what you think and what someone else thinks are two different things. And you could be blessing them with this opportunity to make $600 and help their friend get what they need with a company that they trust. And so it's not just about like what your thoughts are around it, I feel
Well,
like.
you just made a light bulb went off. I saw this thing on social media the other day. It has nothing to do with what home service is, but it's exactly what you're talking about. It was great. It's this room full of people, all in chairs, and this guy hosting like a talk. He brings this lady in and says, "Stand here and look at everyone." And she's looking around. And he goes, "Okay." He tells the lady at the front, "What do you think they're thinking about you right now?" And they're like, "Oh, well, he's probably looking at the dress I'm wearing and that I'm ugly." And then he goes, "What are you thinking about?" And he goes, "I was actually thinking that your hair looked really nice, shiny today." And every time what the person was saying was the opposite of what they were saying. He's like, "Oh, he thinks that I'm too short and that I'm fat around the waistline." And he goes, "I actually was thinking about how sexy you were." It's like so opposite of what they're thinking.
Yeah.
So get out of your fucking head and just like be open to other people having maybe a different idea than you.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's so many stories and none of them are the full truth. They're just all whatever someone else's biases are creating.
Yep.
I like
And a
that
lot of
story a
people
lot.
won't even try something because they're insecure about it with something that happened in their own life.
Exactly, exactly. You mentioned something earlier also, about like people trying things and then giving up on them and just deciding that it doesn't work.
Instead of asking someone that's done it before successfully.
Yeah, that's such I have a friend, Laura Kelly, who always says like, don't ask people for advice that have never done what you're trying to do. And oh, they're in Phoenix too, right? You probably know them.
Yeah, no, I love Laura and Josh.
Yeah, they're awesome, but I think that's such good advice, and also this idea your specific example was like, "Oh, we tried mailers and they didn't work." Well, I think there's, like, so many things that you can unpack there. How long did you try them for? Because there's so many things that don't work the first time that you do them, or you can't see results right away and they take more time, or what did the mailer say? Like, that's why you hire experts that have knowledge on how to convert people from this piece of marketing material, or like you just said, like what are some other people doing really successfully? Maybe they're using mailers along, maybe they have specific guidelines around who they're mailing them to. Uh maybe they're also sending that same thing in Facebook. Maybe they're also running ads on Nextdoor. Like, I don't know, but there's probably so many other things that you can try that just like shift it a little bit to get you better results.
Hey, Jen, I have a great idea. Something's not working. Maybe find someone that did extremely good at that and ask for their advice. Most
Yeah,
people want to help out other people.
it's so true. And that's the advantage of being a part of a group like Service Nation or any best practice group, especially ones that have been really vetted and with some experts that know what they're doing.
Correct. Yeah. We can talk about the door hanger thing if you'd like.
Yeah, go for it.
I was on one of my calls recently, and I had like 3 to 5 people out of the call saying we're having trouble finding new business. We can't do this, can't do that. I'm like, all right, I'll pick on your group. You, technician in the front row, you're going to speak for the company. He's like, oh crap. So he stands up and starts talking. His name's Logan, and I said, all right, Logan. So how many calls did you have yesterday, and the day before, and the day before? He's like, oh, yesterday I had like 3 calls, maybe 4 the day before. I'm like, okay, cool. how many of those customers are already maintenance customers? And he goes, they're all maintenance customers. I'm like, okay, cool. So they're already on a maintenance agreement. They already trust you. I'm guessing out of those 7 calls in 2 days, you didn't ask for a referral once. And he goes, no. I'm like, okay, we need to come up with that program. But as well, how many of them did you do door hangers on the neighbors next to them and also knocked on their doors? And he goes, well, what do you mean? I'm like, okay, guys, so everyone listen, get a pen and a paper. Every call you go on starting today, you're going to do a 6-pack door hanger / door knock on every single one. And this is how it's going to go. I just finished at Jen's house, and I'm going to go to the right 2 houses, left 2 houses, and 2 houses across the street. If they don't answer the door, I'm going to leave a door hanger talking about all of our services and free second opinion and all the fun stuff that they can call us off, and staple my card to it so it's tracked. And if you knock on the door and they actually answer the door, after that, you get to talk to them. And then we role play this like into the ground. So like they're really good at it. But knock, knock, knock. Jen answers the door. Hey, Jen, Andy with Hobaica Services. Don't worry, I'm not selling solar, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. So they start laughing usually because they're like, oh my God, it's another solar window shades or bug guy that's going to try to sell me his crap. You're like, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm actually next door at Bob's house, and we just helped him out with a tune-up. We're able to extend the life of his current air conditioning system. So we just did a tune-up. If you ever want a free second opinion or a tune-up, we have specials. Just let me know if you need anything. Give them your card, or give them the brochure, or give them the door hanger. 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 4 of those, you will get a new customer. Most of the time, I gain 2 or 3 every single time we do it.
Yeah, because it's an easy yes, especially a tune-up. I think about, I share this one a lot, but when you're texting reminders to people, like following up with them, because I think that's another thing that gets in people's head. Well, I don't want to follow up with them that much because that's annoying, and I don't like for people to do that. But what about the other side of that? Like, I am in meetings all day long, and then as soon as I finish my meetings, I go to the gym, and then I'm cooking dinner, and then I'm with my family, and then it's bedtime. So if you texted me at like 9 a.m., chances are I completely forgot about it. Maybe I checked it at some point and I've no longer thought about it. That doesn't mean that I'm not interested. It just means that it wasn't the right like moment for me to remember that this was a priority to me. And like, it's the same with your air conditioning. And not only that, I want the company that installed my air conditioning to remind me on a, bi-yearly basis that they're going to come out. I was talking one time, Ellen Rohr told me this story about the guy who cleaned her windows. She had somebody come out and clean her windows. And 6 months later, he texted her and said, hey, it's been 6 months. I have some time on Tuesday. Would that work for you? I'll come out and clean your window. Like, if he wouldn't have done that, she would have like maybe remembered in a year or 2, but it was important to her. And because he did that, she was like, yeah, I do actually have time. Come on out. That's like the kind of things that we should be doing with our business, especially as a service business. Like, hey, we actually have some time next week. We can come and take a look at your AC and make sure that it's still working properly and get it tuned up for the summer. Why are you not doing that? Like, your customers want that.
Yeah. As well, Jen, don't miss if someone calls in and they want a service done, you better be offering 3 to 5 other free service checks while you're there.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, Jen, I know we're coming out to do an air conditioning tune-up. At this time, because it's, we're a little bit slower right now, we'll have a little bit more time. We're at the house. We're offering a free water heater flush and a free whole home safety inspection of the water in the house and everything. You might, if we get that done today at no charge, and they're like, if it's going to be free, might as well. We'll go out there for an AC tune-up on a 2-year-old system. Everything's fine. There's nothing to upgrade with the system. It's got all the bells and whistles. But hey, Jen, I just drained your water heater. It's full of sediment. And by the way, I tested the water, and I found out your water softener is not actually working. You're at 14 grains of hardness. We leave with new water heater, new water softener with a carbon filter, which would have been a tune-up that would have made no money. But we added value to the customer, and we actually were able to save them in a way that they didn't even know they were having a problem.
Right. Exactly. And so it really takes like getting out of your own mind of like what you think people need and want, and instead showing up really, I mean, part of that mindset shift is just showing up open to it. Like, maybe this could be an opportunity for them and for us too. But that's the whole point of the business, is to provide value in exchange for value. And that's what we're trying to do here.
There's no such thing. Everyone listen up, poke your ears up, because it's all for the owners and managers. There is no such thing as a no opportunity call. No such thing. It's your problem that you can't create the value there because you don't offer enough products, or you don't have the subs to be able to fill those positions. I'll do anything a customer says. If a customer says, yeah, I want to do those toilets, but by the time I want to do that sink, and to be honest, I just want to pay one person. Well, I'm going to go hire a GC. I'm going to get it done. Why not? Like you can do anything you want. Just most people want to stay in their lane and not actually take care of the customer.
Very, very interesting. Though actually the podcast that we have released this week, he talks a lot about like being their guy. That was like his phrase, be their guy. Like whatever they need, just be their guy.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do a new system on a roof, and like maybe we have to cut into the flat foam roof to make an extension on the elbow or whatever we got to do. And usually an air conditioning company is going to say, okay, we're going to seal it with Pookie, duct seal it, and then you're going to have the roof repaired afterwards. Well, that's one of my options. But you know what my upgraded option is, Jen? When we
have
leave,
Mike come do it.
It's refoamed because I'm going to have the roof done right after the system, and you pay one person, me.
Yeah. I love that.
You're taking stress off of the homeowner and taking care of the whole thing. If they go with the other guy, they have to worry about the roof when they're done.
I know. I totally, and like, there are some people that are gonna be like, no, I'll just figure it out. But there's a lot of people who are busy and they don't want to figure it out, and they don't want to think about it, and they don't want to have they don't have to find the person, and you can be that person. Before we finish up here, I really want to talk for a moment about your one bag at a time and how you kind of started that, and just tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. So I was looking at my plaque. So started when I was like really young, so like 20, 21 years old. What we would do is I had a house really young because in 2008 market crashed, and I bought a house for like 75 grand. Still own it.
Good for you. You probably pay like $600 a month.
It's paid off.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I have a couple rental properties. I love real estate, but with this one, bought that house, and I had roommates that they all paid my rent for me because they were paying like rent and paid my mortgage. And I would basically once a month, I would give them beer, like we would drink while packing bags. And then the following day in the morning, hungover, we would literally get into our vehicles and we would drive to downtown Phoenix and pass these bags out to the homeless because I loved it. There's no better feeling of someone just being like, what is all this stuff? Water, food, toiletries. Like, what are you guys doing this for? Oh, I literally went out to the store, bought all this stuff myself. Me and my friends, we packed the bags and we passed out a couple hundred bags because it made me feel good. But as a little kid, we went to soup kitchens. We would always give back at churches. Like, this is what my family's always done. So I loved doing it and learned it from my grandfather. So then I blew it up. I was in B&I. You ever heard of B&I?
Yep.
So I was in one of the largest B&I groups in Arizona for like 10 years. And I met someone in there, actually a financial advisor. And I actually started using him for investments. And then he found out about One Bag at a Time. And he said, are you a 501c3? His name's Ted Young, one of my best friends today. And he says, are you a 501c3? And I'm like, no, I tried to become a 501c3 and I got denied 4 times. I don't know what it is. He goes, probably the paperwork. I'm guessing you don't do paperwork well. I'm like, I hate paperwork. He goes, let me take a look at it. 2 months later, he had me approved. And like, he was just that guy. So I was like, you want to be involved? So I actually made him the vice president, and we've hit the road running. So 501c3 QCO. So now we can actually get tax money, and like, it's so beneficial. So once a month, my wife runs it now. It's called One Bag at a Time. One Bag at a Time on Facebook. One Bag at a Time AZ on Instagram. We go out once a month, and we set up like, a quarter mile of tents. And on the tents, we have water, food, 5 or 6 different food items, toiletries, baby wipes, shampoo, like anything. And then now we just partnered with another nonprofit called Dogs Day Out Arizona, and they take care of the dogs. So if you're homeless and it's hot, they'll put little booties on them, collars, water. It's so much fun. In a 2-hour span, you'll leave and you will feel better about yourself. You'll feel better that you helped other people. You will have a good experience, and you'll make your month that much better. When I miss a month because we were like on vacation, Jen, I'm like, something's missing. I haven't had bed in 30 days. Like, I there's nothing I love more. And then my key thing is, everyone pay attention on the call. If you live by this rule right here, you'll be a happier, better person, better father, better husband, better leader. When you wake up, leaving your driveway and then coming home, you have to do a minimum of 3 good deeds a day, or you can't come home.
That's good. Good reminder.
I'll be driving home and I'm like, shit, I've only done 2. I got to do 1 more. Let me go find someone I can help.
That's awesome. It is so good. And I mean, I remember before I even like started my company, listening to Tony Robbins, I think, and he talked about like, if you're waiting until you have more in order to give, you'll never get to the point of that. Like, at any point in your life, you can choose to give back, and then you will always be that person who's giving back.
Yep. And it'll just grow from there. And now it blew up.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah. So we're getting to the end here. You're on the Kee To Growth podcast. So at the end of our episode, we always ask people the same question, and that is, what do you think is the key to growth?
Well, the key to growth, like we talked about before the podcast started, a lot of people ask me, Andy, what's more important, sales or marketing? I'm like, well, a lot of people would say sales because in an organization like home services, like HVAC, plumbing, and electrical, 88% of the company's revenue comes from the sales team. But the sales team has nothing to sell if you will have a strong marketing presence. So I would tell everyone to reinvest into more marketing, because if you don't have the proper leads and proper stuff to go to your sales team and to your staff, you have nothing to work with. So marketing is huge.
Awesome. I love that. Okay. So you already mentioned how we can find one bag at a time, but if people want to connect with you, and you can mention that one again, where could they find you?
So yeah, on Facebook, One Bag at a Time, and then Andy Hobaica. Instagram, One Bag at a Time, AZ, and Andy Hobaica. And I go on every podcast. I tell people, anyone that's listening, if you get out of your comfort zone and shoot me a DM or hit me up on Facebook and shoot me a message, I offer anyone a 30-minute brainstorm call just to jump on them to see how I can help them. And I'm telling you, people jump on a 30-minute call and then they're like, oh my God, a week later, Andy, I tried what you said and it's been working. Like, this is amazing. I'm like, that just made my day.
I love that. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. This was really great.